Facts and data are good to have, but they don't make you the person you are. The answer to seeking your best self can be found in stories, both in film and book format. Fictional Influence breaks down the stories that make us and shines a light on how they inform our society and our morality. I'm Kristin McTiernan, author and ghostwriter, and I have a story to tell you. Sweet November. My lady bits will heal you. The worst manic pixie dream girl. I'm not going to lie to you. My reasons for renting Sweet November in 2003, they were not virtuous. I had a massive crush on Jason Isaacs of the Patriot fame, and later he became Harry Potter's Lucius Malfoy. I also had a crush on Michael Rosenbaum, who starred in the WB's Smallville as Lex Luthor. My crush was so sincere that I scoured IMDb looking for everything that Rosenbaum was in so I could watch it. Imagine my utter delight to see he'd starred alongside Isaacs in a romance of all things. I couldn't get to Blockbuster fast enough. It didn't turn out how I'd hoped. However, the fact that they put my two handsome boys in dresses that didn't really hang well on them, if I'm being honest, that's not why this movie deserves the first place trophy in the sad halls of awful Thanksgiving-themed movies. Even for seasoned consumers of Lifetime and Hallmark movies, like my younger sister, there occasionally emerges a film so offensively sweet, so cloyingly sentimental, and, most egregious, so oblivious to real human behavior that it threatens its viewers with a coronary. Sweet November is about Nelson, played by Keanu Reeves, a mean-spirited workaholic who gets himself fired in a way that beggars belief. No ad exec would behave like this, certainly not one mid-career like Nelson was. Ridiculous. In a weird, not at all cute meet-cute, he meets Sarah, a flighty, whimsical woman who persuades him to spend a month with her. And again, this in no way resembles actual human behavior, to be clear. He agrees to this and is shocked to find out that she's been doing this every month. Her gay best friend, the criminally underutilized Jason Isaacs, glorious-looking man, calls Nelson November. The last guy was October, and the one before that, you get the picture. That's what Sarah does. She helps people, men most specifically, through the power of her whimsy and her vagina. She takes emotionally stunted men, some of whom, including Nelson, are addicts, and she fixes them in a month. Like all manic pixie dream girls, she is able to use her feminine wiles to ooze into Nelson's cracks and form him into a new, better person. Women have that power, fixing broken men. More than her whimsy, her adorkable feminine shenanigans, her patient and sensual schooling of Nelson shows him all he's been missing in his work-focused life. Honestly, I could have forgiven the movie and its writers if it had continued on this path. Boy meets girl, girl improves boy, boy marries girl. Okay, I'll take it. I could have even forgiven the complete lack of chemistry between Charlize and Keanu. More to the point, and I could be missing something here, has Keanu ever been a convincing romantic lead? Nothing comes to mind. The closest he got was Speed with Sandra Bullock, and that's not really a romantic lead though, is it? I don't know. It's not his forte. But that predictable path is not where the movie brought us. Instead, 23-year-old spoiler warning, it turns out that Sarah has non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and has about 900 bottles of pills in her apartment. So even when Nelson falls in love with her and insists that she marry him, she tells him to leave. November is over. The way she rebuffs him is singularly cruel. She just sends him packing after he pours his heart out to her and does the kind of amazing, over-the-top romantic comedy gesture that really only happens in the movies. And she basically punishes him for it. It's really sick. Even when he chases her down and insists he's not afraid of her illness, that he won't run away from her impending death, she won't have it, even though she returns his affections. I want you to always remember me this way. So, to recap, dying girl, who knows she's dying, barters, begs, and manipulates a series of men into falling in love with her, not just sleeping with her, falling in love with her actual human emotions, making several of them propose marriage to her. Nelson is the only one that she wanted to say yes to, she later confesses, all while knowing she will not be around for long. She won't be around to pick up the pieces of the men she shattered. It struck a particularly nasty chord with me, and I admit I projected my own fears of being abandoned by a future partner onto the male scriptwriter. Was this stupid, unrealistic story he had written some kind of wish fulfillment for him, and by extension, men in general? We all know the statistic about how men leave their wives if they get sick. I don't know how real those statistics are, but it is a popular thing repeated on the internet. If you get cancer, your husband's going to leave you. Did this writer wish that women would just go away on their own and leave the men who love them when they fall ill? To spare the men the bother of caring for them when they're no longer attractive. Again, I emphasize this is my own projection. There is nothing in the scriptwriter's life or interviews that would lead me to believe he thought this. This is just me being a neurotic person. Or worse, and I don't think this is as big of a leap, did he think this is what women are? That they're so horrifically vain that they would send away a man who loves them just to ensure that his last memory of her would be one of beauty rather than one of illness and frailty. It's gross either way. Roger Ebert said it best. Sweet November passes off pathological behavior as romantic bliss. It's about two sick and twisted people playing mind games and calling it love. If only I'd read that review before I scurried off to Blockbuster. Damn you, Rosenbaum, and your blue-eyed smolder. In the end, Sweet November is less a movie and more a cautionary tale about the perils of romanticizing dysfunction. If you're looking for a film to watch with your significant other to celebrate your love, I recommend going with The Wedding Singer. It's the best, and I will not be dissuaded from that opinion.